Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The message reads like this: Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story that I have for you? And I want to confess all the evil things that I have done. Yes, I know that people are going to judge me, but if you want to judge me, it is fine. I did all of these things because of jealousy. The spirit of jealousy made me to do it. My story, my brother, I can say that it started after I had arrived in South Africa. So at the place where I started staying, there was this other woman, and this woman was married to this man who was evil-hearted. So she and her husband, simply because they had been in South Africa for a very long time, so they thought that they were no longer Zimbabwean. They were now treating themselves as if they were South Africans, and they never wanted to be seen being associated with other people who came from their own country. And she was an evil-hearted woman, and that is the reason as to why I ended up bewitching her. First of all, when I started staying at that place where she had stayed for a very long time, she started to give me a lot of rules, and she was the one who would control the landlord. And I think that she had actually bewitched the landlord, because as for the landlord, he did not have any power anymore over this woman. Anything that she suggested the landlord should do, the landlord will end up doing whatever she wanted to be done. It was as if this was her own house that belonged to her and her evil-hearted husband. You should see the way that they used to laugh at us. She would actually sometimes call the police on us, and she would just inform the police that there were actually people who were from Zim that were staying at that place. If you would start staying at that place where this woman was staying, what she will do is that she would run and call the police, and she will say that there is someone who does not have any papers who is staying at our place. Then people were being arrested, and she was just evil-hearted, this woman. She then told the landlord that anyone who was supposed to be staying at her house was supposed to have a passport, even though you had a passport. But she felt so much better than all of us simply because she had a valid work permit, and she will go around flashing a work permit, showing everyone that indeed she was legally in the country. And if she found out that you did not have any papers at all, she was so sure that she will gossip about you and she will get you arrested. This woman, she did whatever she wanted at that place, and we could not even complain to the landlord about this issue. And even her husband was making a lot of money, and the husband felt as if other people who were not earning as much as he was earning, they did not deserve to be here in South Africa. I still remember what this woman used to do. She would complain, and she will say that we are overcrowded in this country. Some of you need to return back home so that us who are legally here, we can remain, so that people do not complain anymore. Sometimes you will be sitting with her as women. When we were sitting, she then will start to tell us things that were so hurtful. She will actually take a phone and she will say, let me go into this group, into this South African group. She wanted to cause like xenophobic attacks on her post. She will just post so that she will make the South Africans to be so angry. She did this so as to cause disunity. She will go there and she would write anything that would make South Africans to be bitter. That is how this woman used to do when she was on social media, and I hated her for that. Then there was this other time when she had borrowed 800 rands from me. So after she had borrowed this 800 rands from me, each and every time when I would ask her to pay me back the money, she would tell me that she was going to pay me the next day. The next day will become the next month, until I had almost forgotten about my money. It then happened that I then received a phone call from my parents back home about my child. My child was sick, and I was told that I needed to quickly return back home. Seeing that I didn't have any money at all, I then spoke with my husband, and my husband told me to go and speak with this woman, since she had been owing us for a very long time. If she was going to give me that 800 rands, then my husband was going to hustle and find some money. Then we will be able to travel back to Zim. So I then went and I spoke with this woman, Brother Nashi, when I told her that I was in need of this money. And when I was speaking with her, I did not even accuse her of not giving me my money back, even though I knew that she was earning a lot of money and her husband was earning a lot of money. She was not giving me this money because she just wanted to fix me. And she told me that I can go wherever that I wanted to go to and report. Since she was legally in South Africa, she had more power over me. And when I kept on telling her that I wanted my money back, please give me my money so that I can return back home, this woman then walked back into her room and she just left me standing and waiting for her. When she left me outside, I thought that maybe she had gone to collect the cash so that she can bring it to me. When I saw that she was no longer coming outside, I then called out her name and I reminded her that I was still waiting for her. But my brother, she then started accusing me. She started insulting me, and she came out of her room and she said, "So you think that I am going to spoil my work permit simply because I owe you this 800 rands? You think that I am going to drag you to the courts so that I can spoil my work permit? I am not going to stoop down to your level." She then took that money, Brother Nanshi, and she did not hand me the money into my arms, into my hands and she did not. When she came out of her room, she just placed the money on the stoop and she said, "Here is your money," and she went back indoors. My brother, I picked up the money because it was mine, but I felt so humiliated. I went indoors and I started packing. Then I left South Africa and I returned back to Zim. When I returned back to Zim, I said, this one, I am going to sort her out for all the things that she did when she humiliated me. I want her to get sorted out, but I had no intentions of actually killing her. All that I wanted to happen to her maybe was for her husband to lose her job, or maybe for her to lose her passport, so that we can see what she was now going to brag about. When I arrived at that traditional healer's place, I was then taken into the consultation room. Inside that consultation room, I saw that there was this other big black curtain that was hanging on the other side of the consultation room. So this traditional healer then asked me why I was at his place, and I told the traditional healer the reason as to why I had came for this consultation. And that healer said, "Oh, you have done well, my child. I can see that you still have the money that she gave to you physically." And I said, "Indeed, yes, I have the money." So then I gave the traditional healer that money, and the traditional healer then told me to take one note from the money that I had and told me to go and stand in front of that black curtain. And I was given a needle. I was told that I had to pin the money onto that black curtain, and I pinned it, and that healer told me to keep on stabbing and stabbing that black curtain. Then the healer seduced me and said that I had to let this woman, that healer convinced me to have this woman killed. So I started stabbing and stabbing, and I kept on stabbing that black curtain until that healer told me that it was enough. My brother, what I didn't realize is that I had actually killed this woman who was still back in South Africa. When I had returned back from that traditional healer, that was when some of my neighbors started to speak with me on WhatsApp, and they told me everything that was going on. My neighbors then told me that this woman, she was really sick. She was feeling as if there was someone who kept on stabbing her with a knife or with a needle. And I knew that those were the charms that me and that healer he had done the rituals, had worked. On my way returning back to South Africa, that was when I heard that she had been fetched by an ambulance and she could not talk anymore. She could not speak anymore. She was really sick when she was taken by the ambulance. When I arrived, this woman had died. I looked at the husband and I wanted to laugh at him because I knew that he had done so much evil and he was very evil. And when I saw him feeling really sad, I said, oh, how the mighty have fallen. This is what I did, Brother Nashi. This woman, it was never my intention to get her killed, but that traditional healer seduced me. As I was stabbing that black curtain, I was actually finishing her off. Dear listeners, right there was a narration that was sent to me by one of our dear sisters. Strange things do happen in this world. Sure.